Woosung was becoming the laughing stock of the crowd. Shin semi-frowned. He looked at Jun Tae-won. Leader Jun Tae-won, there is a lot of information within the data, and I am an analyzer who can read them. Information on the exchange rate is one of the many I gathered from the data. So you're saying you're a data analyzer? Woosung glanced at Shin Semi. He was asking her to vouch for him. Shin Semi nodded. Everyone knows I have never recommended anyone to join until now. Kang Woosung is the only one I helped. Everyone started to stop laughing and listened. It has been a year since I met leader Kang Woosung. He predicted the global financial crisis and the result of the general election last year. He told me the exact number of seats the day before the election. He has predicted too many things to call it a coincidence. Lee Sung-hyun stared at Shin Semi and asked. He guessed the exact number of seats for all parties. Yes. Shin Semi answered without hesitation. Political information could be incredibly useful for everyone in the room. Lee Sung-hyun asked without a hint of his earlier gleeful countenance. Are you referring to the method used during the Barack Obama election in the U.S.? Woosung answered. That's correct. It's very similar to that. Data analysis was a new concept at this time. Lee Sung-hyun turned to Young Jin-sup, who graduated from computer science program. Young Jin-sup tried to explain. What he probably did was extrapolate from the previous exchange rate trends. It's not that simple. I also considered the current world financial state and other aspects during my analysis. Woosung answered without giving Young Jin-sup leverage to say more than he needs to say. Using statistics method. I can't reveal you everything. All I can do is give you the information I gather. You can see for yourself if I am right. Woosung took out a piece of paper and showed it to everyone. This is the record of my bank account during the financial crisis. I started with $300,000 and ended up with $100 million. 300,000 to 100 million. Woosung continued. That's only my Korean account. Woosung took out another piece of paper. This is my American bank account. There are about $500 million deposited in this account as of this moment. People finally started to pay more attention. $500 million. It was a lot of money even for these people. Game company MOX was worth $4 billion, which meant Woosung could own 10% of the company. Nobody was laughing at him now. I think this makes me look more trustworthy, right? No one answered. Many looked deep in thought. Afterward, the party went on. People talked among themselves. Casually, they were exchanging business information and even making deals. Rich people stuck together and made each other richer. It was a well-known fact that in Korea, 70% of the wealthy were rich by inheritance. A self-made man was a thing of the past. The leaders acted as if they worked and earned what they possessed. Woosung found it funny. No one approached him. I told you this was going to happen. Shin Semi told Woosung. I wasn't expecting much anyway. You made a mistake today. If you were hoping to change this world, I'm afraid you will fail. These people won't accept it. They will become weary of you. Woosung joked sarcastically. But I always hear rich people claiming to want to change the world for the better. He chuckled. Shin Semi frowned at him. After a few minutes of awkward silence, Woosung asked her. Do you know the 80-20 rule? Do you mean the Pareto principle? Yes. It states that for many of the events in the world, roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the cause. Shin Semi didn't respond. That means even if 80% of these people don't want any changes, 20% will. Shin Semi bit her lips and asked. Are you saying there will be people who will seek you out? Yes. That will be the start. Start of what? Woosung didn't answer. Some glanced at him during the party, but no one approached him during the entire event. After returning to his apartment, Woosung took a shower. His home was an expensive 1,800 square feet condo filled with big screen television and leather furniture. As he looked out the window, he could see the Han River sparkled. Woosung thought of his enemies. Choi Gichul. Young Jin Sup. So far, he met both of them in this new life. He could beat Choi Gichul. He knew Young Jin Sup wasn't responsible for killing him, but he was sure Young Jin Sup was still involved somehow. Woosung walked into his computer room. He turned on the screen and checked his Bitcoin status. Korea, 21,414.0123 BTC. US, 300,161.4101 BTC. Total, 321,575.4224 BTC. Over 300,000 BTC. The speed of mining was decreasing, but he was happy with the progress. Woosung's goal was to possess over 5 million bitcoins. With this amount, he could rule the cryptocurrency world in the future. Next was checking the exchange rate. Today's rate was 14.10. It should rise soon. Woosung felt tired. His joints were tense, and his muscles felt heavy. Woosung went to bed and fell asleep as soon as his body dropped on the mattress. During the night, the exchange rate had a drastic rise. 14.21. 14.29. 14.35. Through his corporation, KND Investment, in the US, Woosung had $800 million invested in it, while he had $70 million in Korea. Every day, Alex texted him constant enthusiastic updates. We finally went over $1 billion mark. Congrats on becoming a billionaire. Over $1.1 billion today. Are you sure you don't want to cash it now? I think this should be enough. Boss, don't be so greedy. The rate hasn't reached 15.00 yet, but Alex was becoming anxious. $1.3 billion. Boss, it's $1.3 billion. Are we still holding it? Woosung's answer was always yes. The rate finally went over 15.00 and was at 15.10. However, it was only February 27th. Woosung didn't plan on selling it yet. He knew that by March 2nd, it would soar to 15.60. Finally, the day has come, March 2nd. Woosung already told Alex before the market began that he wanted to sell everything by the end of the day. Woosung asked him to sell small portions at a time to not rouse any suspicion. And as planned, by the end of the day, he sold everything. When Woosung checked his account, he had $1.5 billion. Before he turned off the screen, Woosung noticed the exchange rate. 16.0101. It was going higher than in his previous life. The future Woosung knew had changed. Ryan Capital's Liam screamed into the phone. Keep buying. After the rate went over 15.00, tens of millions of dollars were being settled. He knew it then. This was it. The person or organization buying all this time decided the rate was close to reaching its max. Liam planned on following suit, but it was still an upward trend. Liam knew the trend would not change right away. Liam started to buy more dollars from the Korean foreign exchange market. In 2009, the Korean foreign exchange market was worth about $4.4 billion. When Ryan Capital went all in with its $1 billion, the exchange rate strengthened and went up further. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Liam collected the dollars Woosung sold at 13.00 and 14.00. As these transactions occurred fast, the rate soared even more. At this rate, Korea could lose all its dollars. Korean Bank Research Bureau and Financial Service Bureau reported to the Blue House, the Korean White House. An emergency report reached the Secretary General. Sir, there is a report from the Korean Bank regarding an exchange rate issue. I already looked into it. An American hedge fund got involved. Yes. A company called Ryan Capital. We currently have over $320 million in reserve. If we use all of it, we could fix the problem right away. If we do that, the US government won't just stand by. They are sensitive right now because of the recent financial crisis. All right. Then I will let the president know, so come up with other options and report back to me. As the Secretary General stood up, the phone rang. He answered it, and after a brief conversation, he paled. It went over 17.00. I will call for an emergency meeting with the president immediately, so please call all the relevant departments. Lee Sung-hyun, who was working as an attorney at the law firm Manhwa, checked the exchange rate. 16.83. He remembered Woosung from the KYLO party. It can't be, how? It was too good to be a coincidence. A report indicated that a major portion was bought from a foreign company. Does Woosung have that much money abroad? The report from the Blue House suspected $1 billion were in play. Woosung said he had about $500 million, and he expected the rate to go up to 15.30. That meant one of two things. Either Woosung was lying, and he was behind the rate increase, or Woosung was telling the truth and someone unrelated was behind it. Either way, Woosung was involved. Should I call him? Lee Sung-hyun wondered. Young Jin-sup didn't believe Woosung at first. Data analysis. He studied it briefly during school. He knew data analysis could never provide guaranteed results. Despite all that, Woosung still made a big impression on him at the party. Big brother. Young Jin-sup began to think perhaps it was possible. He kept checking the exchange rate frequently. 14.30. Was it just a coincidence? Young Jin-sup didn't invest in it, but it became a habit for him to check the exchange rate every day. He checked it twice a day. 14.50. He hesitated. Should he invest? If it went over 15.00, he knew he would regret not acting on it. Yet he didn't want to lose any money either. 14.81. As he hesitated, the rate kept going up. Finally, it reached the number Woosung promised. 15.30. Then it soared to 16.00 and 17.00. He picked up the phone and called. This number you dialed is currently busy. Please leave a message after the beep. He called again after a few minutes, but it still went to the voicemail. Are others from the party calling him too? Young Jin-sup bit his lips nervously. Finally, he picked up the phone and called Shin Semi, the woman who brought Woosung to Kwelo. Woosung was on the phone with Alex. Boss. Did you see? Don't be disappointed. It wasn't meant to be. Alex laughed over the phone. Disappointed? Me? Do you know how nerve-wracking it was for the last 2 weeks? Then why did you ask? The rate volatility level went up suddenly. What? Until 15.60, the volatility level was 12%. Woosung sighed. Alex didn't have to explain. He already knew this. You're saying someone got involved? A sudden change doesn't happen without a reason. I'm guessing a company got involved. It can't be a country. If the Korean government got involved, US wouldn't let it go. This isn't good for Korea either. A private company then? Yes. I'm guessing a hedge fund. Woosung nodded in agreement. Alex continued smartly. This would also mean someone's watching us. So someone wants my money. Alex remained silent. $1.5 billion in Woosung's account. He earned it, which meant someone lost it. Wall Street is filled with sharks. When there is a good algorithm, someone will target it and kill it. We were lucky this time, but we need to be careful from now on. Woosung agreed and hung up. He leaned back and murmured. Be careful. So far, he has won against the market. However, any changes to the future could mean Woosung could lose everything next time. One more thing. $100 million can change the future. This was the first time the future he knew changed. This meant his action of mining large quantity of Bitcoin could also change the future. Woosung's stress went through the roof. Suddenly, his phone rang again. It was Shin Semi. She must be desperate. His phone wouldn't stop ringing all day. 7 missed calls. All the leaders of KYLO shared their phone numbers. Woosung saw he had 3 missed calls from Young Jin Sup, 2 from Lee Sung-hyun, 1 from Shin Semi, and 1 from an unknown number. Woosung didn't call anyone back. He knew value usually increases with rarity. Shin Semi bit her fingernail. He was right again. This was the 3rd time. Once or twice could be coincidences, but a 3rd time. She really believed Woosung could predict the future by data analysis. She tried to stay calm, but it was difficult. When Young Jin Sup called her asking for Woosung's alternative contact information, she finally called Woosung herself. He didn't answer her. She remembered the last time something like this happened. After the general election result, she called him, but he didn't answer. He only came to her when she sent someone to get him. Was this his way of making her come to him in person again? She had her pride. She didn't like this at all. How could she change this relationship? She needed to become the one in power. Shin Semi thought carefully. She needed to learn to control him and get any information he had. She will get her chance. She just had to wait for it. Now, how could she get him to come to her without asking? Suddenly, her phone rang. The chairman is asking for you. Pardon? The Blue House has asked for help regarding the exchange rate problem. Shin Semi looked at her screen. Exchange rate, 17.0310. This was getting problematic. Investing in the exchange rate market was a stressful period for Woosung. Naturally, he wasn't able to focus on his company work during this time. After everything was settled, Woosung could finally get back to his company. When he arrived at work, he sat down and studied various things including the exchange rate trends and the world financial news. Woosung's room was filled with books on daytime trading and forex trading. One day, Woosung was reading late into the night in his office when Jang Guanchul walked into his room. Forex Trading Strategy was the book Woosung was holding. "Boss, are you planning to upgrade the algorithm trading system?" Woosung thought of hiding the book, but instead, he answered him. "As I said earlier, I am trying to think globally. Don't overwork yourself. If you lose your health, you'll lose everything." Woosung laughed awkwardly. "Huh, okay. Then I'll see you later." Phew. Woosung sighed with relief. Jang Guangchul must have spread the news. Yoon Gwon, Park Jun-woo, and Kim Yong-gun came to Woosung and asked about how they would upgrade their algorithm trading system. "I was thinking it's about time we need to adjust the winning stock recommendation algorithm." "Are you already on it, boss?" When Woosung couldn't answer, Yoon Gwon murmured quietly. What's with your reaction? Do you not trust us?" "The vice president told us. He said you're looking into forex trading." "Oh." Kim Yong-gun pointed at the books in Woosung's room. "And that's why you are reading all these books, right?" "Huh, I guess. So how much work have you done on it so far?" "We can help you." Park Jun-woo added. "We might not be much, but we can still help." Yoon Gwon asked. "Are you getting involved in currency future? Or FX?" "I am considering both," Woosung answered cautiously. "All right. Then we will look into both as well." "Oh, okay." This was a week ago. As far as Woosung could remember, no more exchange rate turbulence would happen until the 2016 Brexit. This meant from now on, Woosung had to rely only on the algorithm function. This was Woosung's plan all along, but he felt tired of having to continue studying when he was so rich already. Woosung shook his head. I can't think like this. I can't become lazy. He continued to study. It was a good thing he was smarter now, or else, it would have taken him much longer to learn. Foreign currency trading always occurred in pairs. Korean won/dollar. Dollar/euro. Yen/dollar. The currency on the left was called the base currency, while the one on the right was called the quote or counter currency. The exchange rate was affected by the interest rates of national banks in each country. For example, if the interest rate in a Korean bank increased, foreign investors would flock to it. On the other hand, if the rate was low, fewer dollars would enter Korea. In turn, the exchange rate would rise. This wasn't always the case. The exchange rate was of national importance, so the government often involved themselves to maintain a certain level. If it went up, it brought it down; when it went down, it brought it up. In a democratic country, the government was allowed to have only a minimal influence. The best thing was for the market to correct itself. When Shin Semi arrived at Nuri Enterprises CEO Shin Yongwon's room, he asked her. Advisor Shin, how many offshore funds do you have right now? A little over $100 million. How much of it can you cash in right away? About $50 million. Before the exchange rate goes down, make sure to use all your available cash. But. Before Shin Semi could reply, Shin Yongwon glared at her. This is a chance you can't miss. Anyway, the Blue House asked all the banks for help for this reason. They expect us to put our personal funds in. Shin Semi murmured. The foundation of finances is trust. We can't justify doing anything that will cause us to lose this trust. The current exchange rate was 17.00. This was a great chance. Have you still not realized why you haven't received a promotion for a long time? Shin Yongwon looked at his daughter with disappointment. If this is the way to get a promotion, then I don't want it. Shin Yongwon turned away from her. You have so much more to learn. Soon, the foreigners will get involved in the Korean market. If we do this, it will help stabilize the exchange rate without the Korean government having to get involved directly. If the government gets involved, the other countries will not look kindly on it. This is why the government gives chances like this to corporations like ours. Shin Semi asked untrustingly. But this is only your interpretation of the government's request. What was the point of going to Princeton and graduate from the economics department? You are still so naive. I shouldn't have let you go to that school. Shin Yongwon criticized her crudely. Because of people like you, general population sees every businessman as a con man. The world sees Korea as a corrupt country. Why do you think the Nuri Bank fails to make it in other countries? There is no guarantee your way will make us successful. Unless you have clear data to prove your theory, do as I say. Shin Semi knew her father wouldn't change his mind. It was always this way. When she remained silent, Shin Yongwon gave her a final warning. Or else, you'll lose everything you have. Shin Semi stared at him with a blank expression and left. Shin Yongwon looked at his daughter with a heightened sense of disappointment. She needed a drink. Without thinking, Shin Semi arrived at the building where Woosung's company KND was located. She took the elevator and went up to his office. I am here to see President Kang Woosung. At the unexpected appearance of a beauty, the developers murmured. Kim Yong-gun especially got excited. She. Yoon Gyewon turned around towards the door and saw her. Advisor Shin Semi. Kim Yong-gun rose from his seat and knocked on Woosung's door. Woosung was just about to walk out. He greeted her in surprise. I didn't realize you were coming. If you have time, would you like to have a drink? Woosung couldn't say no. They found a quiet place and here, they decided to sit down. Shin Semi drank in silence while Woosung would peek at her in secrecy. After a few drinks, Shin Semi finally shared her thoughts. While I studied at Princeton, I always swore I wouldn't become one of those rich corrupt businessmen. Woosung nodded in agreement. I see. I studied my ass off, I graduated with good grades. I had many offers from Wall Street, but I returned to Korea. The chairman's orders, I presume? Shin Semi shook her head. No, it wasn't like that. I wanted to. I planned to make Muri Enterprise a bank known all over the globe. Woosung decided to compliment her. Huh, your father must have been proud. Shin Semi laughed bitterly and answered. No, it was the opposite. Oh. He wasn't happy with me. Woosung stayed quiet. Shin Semi looked at him. You are the big brother who analyzes big data to find answers. Do you think you can figure out what I did wrong? Woosung did not have enough time to contemplate, but he understood the gist of what she's saying. She must have had an argument with the chairman, but he couldn't figure out what it was. Do you remember the first time we met? Woosung asked as if it was a natural thing for him to say. Shin Semi stayed still. Woosung continued slowly. When I predicted the financial crisis and the general election result, you doubted me. After you found out I got them right, you started trusting me. Woosung laughed with a sarcastic undertone. When I asked to join KYLO, I wasn't sure if you would say yes. Shin Semi stammered. Well that's. I'm not blaming you. I am just telling you the facts of our relationship. As Woosung continued, Shin Semi's expression changed. You want to know what you did wrong? Shin Semi nodded. Yes. I think what you did wrong is that you haven't proven yourself yet. Shin Semi inhaled deeply. As I proved myself with real results, you need to do the same to the chairman. She nodded again. Shin Semi felt confused. She felt different around this man. Why was that? As she pondered by her lonesome, her curiosity sparked back to her memory. By the way, why didn't you answer my call? Her sudden question flustered Woosung. I didn't know. I was busy, I didn't realize you called. You must have seen you missed a call when you checked your phone later that day, right? Honestly, I have been so busy with the new company I haven't had the chance to look at my phone at all. Shin Semi scoffed a begrudged answer. Well, I guess I'll believe you. Woosung felt guilty for some reason. Why is she upset? Shin Semi ate a piece of steak and explained. I called you because other KYLO members have been calling me. Woosung's eyes sharpened. Someone called Shin Semi because he couldn't get a hold of Woosung. He could guess who it was. Was it Young Jin Sup? Yes, and there is one more. Woosung couldn't think of anyone. Shin Semi answered. Lee Sung-hyun. The current KYLO president. He called. Lee Sung-hyun. Attorney at the law firm Manhwa and the second son of the current Korean president. What did he want? Why didn't you answer other members' calls? Didn't you join KYLO to get close to them? For the same reason why I didn't answer your call. Shin Semi replied seriously. These people are not used to waiting for anyone. They may take it the wrong way. Woosung smiled. I will remember your advice. After work, Liam sighed deeply and sat down. He made another huge profit from the recent transactions. He already exceeded his goal for this year. Unless he made a major mistake for the rest of the year, he was sure to get a big incentive. He was grinning happily when someone approached him. I gathered the information you requested. Okay. Thank you. Liam opened the test database ran by Ryan Capital. New York Stock Exchange. Chicago Commerce Exchange. These places provided the information on any transactions that happened in their systems for a fee. They couldn't give away any private information, but they provided which banks or hedge funds were used to make the transactions. Liam was looking for a specific transaction serial number. Each trader had a unique serial number. Using this, he planned to figure out who was involved and which algorithm was used. Let's see. Liam's eyes flared. He started analyzing the data like a rabid dog. Let's first put everything in order based on the serial number, then filter out any transactions involved less than $10 million. This reduced the amount of data to half. Liam used the statistics package RStudio and created a graph with the filtered data. As he studied it, he picked up the serial number he was looking for. This trader bought continuously at 13.00s until it reached 14.20. Afterward, there were no more purchases. When Liam looked at its sell records, it looked like this trader started selling after the rate reached 15.00. It seems like it sold everything as soon as it went over 15.00s. This can't be based on an algorithm. This kind of all-in technique is too risky to be recommended by any trading system. This meant someone made a human decision to do this. Not even the world's greatest bank Goldman Sachs would attempt something like this. Liam opened the Excel file named 2008-09-10-11. A similar thing happened during the financial crisis. A trader bought options right before the Dow Jones dropped. It can't be, there was no such thing as coincidences in this world. Who? Liam started to get goosebumps. Even the best expert investors couldn't pull off something like this. As soon as Woosung arrived at work the next morning, 3 people looked at him, expecting news in more ways than one. Yoon Gi-won, Park Jun-woo, and Kim Yong-gun surrounded Woosung and pushed him into the conference room. "President, we have been contemplating about this project for days." Woosung nodded and listened. "We came to a conclusion. There is no way the 3 of us could come up with something like a winning stock recommendation function like you did. This meant one thing. It is impossible for us to develop an algorithm for FX margin or currency future." Woosung frowned at the word impossible. He didn't like the word. Yoon Gi-won noticed Woosung's expression and added quickly. "But we haven't given up yet. We thought about what we can do, and we came up with HFT, high-frequency trading. This is our prototype." As soon as Yoon Gi-won finished, Kim Yong-gun opened a PPT. FX HFT test results. It appeared that they already tested the product. If you use this in Korea, there will be some network issues. You aren't thinking of Korea as the target customer, are you? Woosung asked. No. We already contacted Jonathan in America and installed it at an IDC in California. We learned that compared to making transactions through the Korean server, it is 0.00005 seconds faster. Oh. Woosung was pleasantly surprised. Then we will report to you regarding the test result. Yoon Gi-won continued confidently. Kim Yong-gun clicked, and the next slide appeared. After the presentation, Woosung had to admit his surprise. "I see that you worked hard on this." Yoon Gi-won smiled proudly. "Huh, you have been working so hard on the new algorithm that we thought we can't just sit around." Woosung groaned. He was not working on the algorithm at all, but now it seemed like he had to. "We will continue to test it and show you the final product before the end of this month." Yoon Gi-won added emphatically. "You need to finish your algorithm for us to test it accurately, so please finish it ASAP." Woosung was speechless, he had nothing to say back at them, but luckily, someone burst into the room. "President, you need to come out quick." "What's wrong?" That attorney is here." "Attorney?" Lee Park-sung's son Lee Sung-hyun is here." Woosung grinned. "So he's here." Lee Sung-hyun. He was the second son of Korea's current president and an attorney working at the law firm Manhwa specializing in corporation/customer relationship. He was rumored to be interested in entering the political world like his father. Woosung was from the future. He knew exactly what would happen. He bowed deeply. "Welcome to my humble office. I apologize. I meant to call you back, but I've been so busy with my work. Haha, that's alright. I realize how hard it is to run a company. You are so kind. I see why people love you so much. You flatter me. I am actually awed by you. You became a CEO at such a young age. They kept their conversation light. They seem to enjoy playing this game of flattery together. 10 years from now, Lee Park-sung becomes involved in a controversy during his second term. An investigation begins, and Lee Sung-hyun becomes a subject of interest to the related investigation too. He probably got arrested. Woosung died before the investigation was completed. The rumor at the time was the president would likely be prosecuted, while Lee Sung-hyun would be released. While Woosung was deep in his thought, Lee Sung-hyun lowered his voice. Haha, I have an important matter to discuss with you. Woosung replied with a lower tone. I am all ears. I watched the exchange rate as you suggested. It was impressive, although I am a bit worried that it reached 17.00. Woosung answered honestly. I wasn't able to predict it more accurately. I should have considered the possibility of hedge funds getting involved and therefore pushing the upward trend further along. I am embarrassed. Lee Sung-hyun looked at him in kind. Woosung was so confident during the party, but now he looked humble. I believe in admitting one's mistake. Woosung explained. Lee Sung-hyun observed Woosung. If you continue to make mistakes, you will lose people's trust. I gain trust through my results. I don't have to convince people of my abilities. Lee Sung-hyun nodded approvingly. There will be a provincial election in June next year and a by-election in July. Liberty Korean Party will win the majority. Woosung knew this, but he couldn't remember the exact number of seats. You can't be planning to run as the candidate for the Liberty Korean Party, which means, Lee Sung-hyun was a big fish. He definitely would not run for a position in a remote countryside. You plan to participate from the sideline then? In Seoul most likely. Woosung continued. Woosung guessed correctly. Lee Sung-hyun lost all his doubts. Woosung added. I assume Oh-hoon will represent the Liberty Korean Party while Han Min-suk will represent the Democratic Party. I expect it to be quite an election. This was not an information known in public ears. Only those high in the government knew it. How could Kang Woosung know this top-secret information? Did you come to this conclusion from your data again? Woosung tapped his head. It came from my brain. Data may have the info, but I am the one analyzing it. Well, you better have more accurate results from now on than the one for the exchange rate. Woosung smiled and answered. I did predict correctly that it would rise and possibility beyond 15.30. I may not be able to predict the exact number of seats, but I can analyze to find out who will win the election. When I say I can predict it, I also mean I can make it happen if necessary. Lee Sung-hyun replied slowly. If the big brother can show me another proof of your ability, I would love to offer you a job of digital media chief for the next year's provincial election. Let's see, I have information in many different areas, politics, finances, world. The quickest and surest way to prove myself would be probably the North Korean missile test. Lee Sung-hyun's eyes widened and exclaimed. Pardon? It is possible to predict the North Koreans' behavior based on big data. Within 1 week, North Korea will provoke us with a missile. Lee Sung-hyun couldn't hide his shock. How could anyone predict something like this? Woosung smiled knowingly and continued. If you give me more time, I can probably come up with an exact date. Could you wait for me for an hour? Lee Sung-hyun nodded earnestly. Woosung's smile deepened. He left and murmured to himself. Just like the exchange rate volatility, I remember the North Korean incident very well. 2 rounds of North Korean missile test will be conducted today. Nuclear test will follow. Stock market will fluctuate due to uncertainty. Shin Semi was glued to the TV all day. Woosung predicted that the North Korean missile test would happen today. He foretold an exact date. Then he suggested that she report it to the chairman. He advised her. This is a sure thing. Because of this incident, the market will fluctuate. Show your father that you're different than him. Shin Semi told Chairman Shin Yong-won confidently. She wanted to show him one can be honest and still become successful. She wanted to build a transparent company, an ethical company. Shin Semi watched the news anxiously. Woosung promised that it would happen today. That was when a breaking news broke out. We have a breaking news. Her heart pounded. A serious automobile accident occurred on the Olympic Highway with 5 fatalities. She became frustrated and wanted to turn off the TV but stopped herself. She tried to calm down and continued watching the program. After an hour, another breaking news came out. This is a breaking news. North Korea has fired 2 missiles. According to the report, the missiles have been fired at approximately 2:30 p.m. towards the East Sea of Korea. After the news, the red light of Kospi turned to blue. Chairman Shin Yong-won was called immediately. Woosung and Lee Sung-hyun were sitting in front of a TV together. Woosung said to Lee Sung-hyun, who was staring at the screen in shock. I analyzed 10 years' worth of news from all over the world. I can't believe you even got the time right. Ha ha ha. You are indeed a big brother. Lee Sung-hyun wasn't listening. He instead exclaimed in excitement. Woosung laughed, but Lee Sung-hyun again focused on the news and didn't even notice Woosung. As you can see, data analysis is an amazing tool. It is the future of the world. It can be used everywhere for everything. Lee Sung-hyun turned around to look at Woosung. What do you want? He seemed like he was ready to offer anything. Woosung replied with the answer he prepared in advance. I heard the government is looking for a financial algorithm for the national pension plan and an official messenger app to be used by government officials. I want you to introduce KND's algorithm and our coconut app to them for consideration. Lee Sung-hyun frowned. I'll have to check, but I don't think I have the power to get your products chosen. You are very greedy. All I want is a fair chance for these opportunities. Just let my company's products be able to compete against other corporations' software. A fair chance. Lee Sung-hyun could pull some strings to make it happen. And that's all you want? Just a chance. Yes. Woosung answered firmly. I guess I can make that happen. Lee Sung-hyun made a few calls, and within an hour, Woosung's requests were met. This was the power of being the president's son. Lee Sung-hyun only needed to make a few calls to make things happen. The government messenger was to be selected in 4 months, while the algorithm for the national pension was to be decided after the provincial election. Woosung felt the power of political authority. He may be a rich businessman, but compared to Lee Sung-hyun, his power was very limited. If he did something illegal, could he get away with it with money? Woosung shook his head. Maybe, but not for sure. Those with power could. Someone like Lee Sung-hyun and Daeng's CEO could order around the police and the prosecutors easily. They owned the justice system. Lee Sung-hyun turned to Woosung. The team leaders of each division will be asked to meet starting next month to start preparing for the election. As the chief of Digital Media Division, you will need to attend as well. I understand. Then I will call you later. Lee Sung-hyun left the office. Woosung sat down on a chair and sighed. It has been a long day, but unfortunately, there was still more work to do. His phone hasn't stopped vibrating for a while now. The caller ID indicated that it was Young Jin-sup. It was time to meet him. He met with Young Jin-sup in Gangnam. Young Jin-sup was the future CTO of Bitmain and Woosung's boss. There was a distinct possibility he was involved in Woosung's death. Young Jin-sup knew about it and didn't do anything to stop it. Woosung had to restrain himself from punching him in the face. Young Jin-sup took him to a bar. There are some nice ladies working here. If you ever need a place to do business, bring your clients here. He turned around to the woman standing nearby. The madam will take good care of you. Right, sweetheart? Young Jin-sup was the same. He was a creepy lecher. The madam smiled and answered. Of course. We always welcome young handsome CEOs. We have a lot of pretty girls here, so let me know your type. Woosung tried to calm down his anger and replied. Thank you. I will call you if I need you. Woosung and Young Jin-sup entered a private room. So Woosung, I am impressed with you. What statistics package did you use? R or Python? How many equations did you use? Young Jin-sup clearly knew a lot about analysis. He graduated from a computer science program after all. In his previous life, Woosung never doubted Young Jin-sup's skills or ability as a programmer. Woosung replied using technical words to further earn his trust. I used both. I started with the Python. R isn't adequate for working with a large amount of data. After sorting with Python, I used NumPy, Sci-fi, and other libraries with my own personal equations. Young Jin-sup understood it immediately. NumPy and Sci-fi, that's brilliant. I would love to learn your equations, but I guess you won't tell me. As I said before, it's a trade secret. So you're telling me you discovered the exchange rate trend based on your analysis, and you can figure other things out as well? Exactly. Now, would you be able to predict a specific person's behavior pattern too? Like what that person likes. How to make that person like you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Woosung did understand, but he couldn't understand Young Jin-sup's intention. When Woosung looked confused, Young Jin-sup lowered his voice and continued. There is a woman I'm interested in, but I can't figure out what she likes. She is not a nobody, so I can't do anything rash. She can't be bought with money either. Woosung finally understood. Problems with women. He wanted Woosung to apply data analysis on psychology. In 2018, it was a commonly used practice. Companies analyzed customers' browsing histories and placed intentional ad banners in strategic places. However, in 2009, this was not common, and Woosung wasn't sure if he could develop a system for it. When Woosung hesitated, Young Jin-sup added. As you must already know, Lee Ari is the biggest star now. I found out her phone number somehow, but she barely responds to me. She is from a powerful family, so I can't just push her around. I don't know how I can get her. Woosung couldn't believe what he was hearing. Young Jin-sup didn't notice Woosung's disgust and continued. You know what I mean, right? You're interested in Semi, right? She is not going to be easy. I tried a few times but gave up. She plays hard to get. Woosung grabbed the glass and drank it in a single gulp. He calmed himself down and replied slowly. I see. Lee Ari is such a big star that it may be possible to do it. Lee Ari was going to be an even bigger star in 10 years. Woosung was also her big fan and knew a lot about her career. He felt like he could use this information to his advantage. Young Jin-sup's face shone with a smile. Really? You can figure out what a person likes. You really are a big brother. You flatter me. But as you must know, I can't guarantee anything. Most likely I will be able to figure out vague and limited information. Anything you can find out, I would appreciate it. And if you help me out, I will set up a meeting for you with Taewon. Young Jin-sup exclaimed. Jun Taewon. Son of TK Telecom CEO. He was rumored to be the next CEO of the company. If Woosung wanted to release Blue S in Korea, Jun Taewon was someone he had to meet. Young Jin-sup continued. However, just like you, I can't guarantee how successful the meeting will be. It will depend on you. It was a good opportunity, but Woosung shook his head. Woosung already had a connection with Lee Sung-hyun, who most likely could introduce Woosung to Jun Tae-won as well. That's a good offer, but I need something else from you. Meeting Jun Tae-won is something I think I can figure out myself. Young Jin-sup frowned. Woosung added quickly. What I need is, do you by chance know Choi Gichul very well? I need Dae-young for my smartphone manufacturing parts. Young Jin-sup grinned. Haha, of course. He is like a big brother to me. He is currently finishing an MBA program at Dartmouth. When he returns to Korea, please introduce us. That's easy. Great. I really need him. Young Jin-sup shook Woosung's hand. Now it's time to drink. Young Jin-sup buzzed the madam again. Young Jin-sup loved women and booze. Woosung drank with him late into the night. It's great here, right? You better thank me for bringing you here. I didn't even tell anyone at KYLO about this place. Young Jin-sup boasted. Woosung wanted to leave but stayed and agreed. Ha, thank you, bro. Ha ha ha, another drink. Now, why are you sitting like a monk? You look lonely there all by yourself. Grab a girl. Young Jin-sup groped a woman beside him. The woman moaned excitedly. It was a disturbing scene. Woosung pretended to be drunk and asked Young Jin-sup. I want to be prepared for meeting Choi Gichul. Can you tell me what I need to avoid doing or mentioning? What does he hate the most? That would be his big brother. You mean Choi Jae-tae? Young Jin-sup shook his finger. No, the other one. The oldest, Choi Tae-min. One time we were drinking, and he said that he wanted to kill his brother. Woosung swallowed. Choi Gichul hated his brother so much he wanted to kill him. Woosung knew he meant it, and if he got a chance, he would act on it. He stammered on purpose and replied. I see. So make sure to never mention the name Choi Tae-min, okay? All right. Young Jin-sup smiled in satisfaction and raised his glass. Now, let's drink. The night is still young. Woosung had more questions he wanted to ask, but he didn't want to look suspicious. Young Jin-sup was getting busy with the woman next to him. Woosung drank by himself with a troubled visage. The next day. Woosung sighed as he sat down in his office. He could smell the alcohol in his breath. Before they left the bar together, Young Jin-sup said to Woosung. Thanks for the drink. He made Woosung pay. The bill at the end of the day was about $10,000. It was nothing to Woosung, but he hated spending money on Young Jin-sup. I will make sure he regrets his life. Jang Guangchul walked into Woosung's room and asked, disappointment was all over his tone. Who did you drink with last night? You didn't take me with you. I'm sad. I didn't want to, but I had to. You drank for business. Woosung nodded, Jang Guangchul grinned. Welcome to the grown-ups world. I don't want to be in such a dirty world. Woosung frowned. By the way, did you get to talk to Lee Ari's management? I did, but they said they aren't sure if it's possible. The decision is hers. I see. Why not get someone else? Then it would be meaningless. She is the best option. Jang Guangchul suggested thoughtfully. There are a lot of great idols out there. But no one big enough to be a trendsetter like her. I understand Lee Ari is the biggest star, but if we don't have a backup plan, we might end up with no one. I will talk to her myself. Please arrange a meeting. Alright, I'll try. After Jang Guangchul left, Woosung started his research on Lee Ari. The first thing Woosung did was web crawling. He gathered as much information as he could on SNS, news, and various online communities. He then sorted the data using RStudio. Woosung was by now a pro at data analysis. He also knew Lee Ari's future. As time went on, Woosung created a report. In a black van on her way to a studio, Lee Ari sat with a reserved gaze. With her sharp bob, flawless skin, and slim body, she looked like a fragile Greek statue. In her hand was a report. She stared at it as she asked her manager. "Where did you say this came from?" The manager worked with Lee Ari every day, but his heart pounded every time he saw her. He answered. "It's from KND Corporation. They want to hire you to advertise their new app Coconut Talk." "Oh, I remember." The manager added carefully. "It's not a bad idea to meet with them. They are offering a lot of money too. Of course, I'm not saying you should do it for the money. Everyone knows you care about being a true artist, not money." "Huh, yeah, but I know money is important too." The manager replied with a smile. "Haha, of course. I heard they are offering more than $500,000, and it's not a TV commercial. You know what Facebook is, right?" Lee Ari nodded. "All they want is to record you using the Coconut Talk and upload the video on Facebook. The contract is for a year." While Lee Ari pondered, the manager replied. "You do what you want. The boss wants you to be happy." She was only 20, but she was a huge star. Her management company valued her as its biggest asset. Lee Ari believed in being an artist, not a sellout, but the report was so intriguing. What it said resonated with her, more so than what her management company recommended for her career. Lee Ari asked her manager. "What do you think?" The manager scratched his head and answered. "Oh, haha. My opinion doesn't matter. It's your decision. But I want to hear your thoughts." "Well, I think." He glanced at her. He wanted to come to the same conclusion as Lee Ari's. After thinking, he offered. "I think you shouldn't do it. I think becoming a commercial model will negatively affect your image as an artist. Remember last time when there was a problem with the product you sponsor? You were partly blamed for it. It was unfair." Lee Ari handed the report to her manager and replied. "Huh, you're right, but have you read this? Lee Ari. What she needs to do to become the world's biggest star." It was a grand title. Manager nodded. "Haha, of course. I read it carefully before giving it to you." "Oh, I see. So you did read it." It seemed like whoever wrote it didn't understand the entertainment industry at all. "He said your current TV show is a wrong choice for you. Don't you remember how hard our boss worked to get you this job?" Lee Ari was on her way to meet with the staff for her new TV series, Lovely Woman. The writer of the report, KND's Kang Woosung, suggested she should instead take the main role for a different TV drama titled Intimacy. As the title suggested, Intimacy was not a G-rated show. Lee Ari was popular for her innocent girl image, so it was decided by her management team that this show didn't suit her. "I know how hard our boss worked to get me to where I am. I am very appreciative. I am also thankful to you, manager." The manager smiled broadly. Lee Ari leaned back and thought. It's time to get a new manager. They worked together for a whole year, yet he didn't understand her at all. How could he not agree with the report? Lee Ari was disappointed. "The audience wants to see a different side of me. My fans and the media have already mentioned this before." The report was convincing, but she couldn't change to a different show because of a single report from a stranger. Lee Ari thought carefully. She became a celebrity because she wanted to be loved. She never felt it from her own family, so she swore to become a top star. The report promised to make her the beloved star of this country and the world. "I don't think it's a bad idea to meet with him," she murmured quietly. The office of Top Entertainment. Woosung looked outside the window. A crowd of fans was waiting for the black van to open. "We love you, Lee Ari. We wanna see you. You're the best, Ari." The fans ranged from teenage girls to grown men in their 30s. Standing next to Woosung, Jang Guanchul murmured. Wow, she's definitely a big star. How about you? Do you like her too? Jang Guangchul replied. Of course I like her, but I have no chance with her. Why not? With your success, it might happen. Even today's meeting was possible because of your status. Jang Guangchul looked outside and answered bitterly. I have been working so hard all my life. Then I suddenly realized that I'm over 40. Li Ari is over 20 years younger than me. I have no chance with her. Age difference is only a number. There are plenty of couples with large age gaps. What matters is love. You sound like you want me to date her. It's not like that. I'm just wondering why you aren't dating anyone. Well, all I have left in me is greed. I have no energy for relationships. It's you who should be dating right now. Li Ari is in your age group, right? Good luck. Jang Guangchul murmured. While they chatted, Li Ari, her manager, and their boss walked in. Woosung bowed to them. Nice to meet you. I'm KND's Kang Woosung. My name is Li Ari. It was true that most celebrities looked better in person. Li Ari was beautiful, magnificent even, much more so than on TV. Her features were delicate, yet she had an aura of subtle sexuality. Woosung shivered but tried his best to act nonchalantly. Let's have a seat. I'm sure you guys are all busy, so let's get to the business. Li Ari's eyes shined. Woosung was different. Usually, whenever she met a stranger, they always gawked at her. You are so much more beautiful than on screen. You look gorgeous. Can I shake your hand? I went to the same junior high as you did. Every man she met always tried to impress her, but this man was different. Li Ari's interest grew. Woosung opened his laptop to start a presentation for her. He had done many major presentations in front of a large crowds before. This was a piece of cake. Steady voice. Confident eye contacts. Simple yet direct presentation. Accurate data. It was perfect. Woosung spent about 30 minutes on where Li Ari's career should head. After the presentation, the CEO of the top entertainment asked.